Hi there. Could everybody hear me?
Yes.
Okay, excellent. So I'm the guy that was falsely accused of being at that rally to assassinate our former president. And I'm here to say that because of the events that happened there and the completely and utterly just detail by detail false allegations, including that I made verbal threats to assassinate the president, that I said that's what I was there for, including, being called by this current sheriff as a lunatic, unhinged, and all these other things. My life is forever changed. Today I'm at a press conference with police protection. I've had to hire a bodyguard. My elderly parents, who are 83 and 77, have been harassed, threatened. I watched my dad on video yesterday as his hands were trembling, and he's had multiple strokes, 10 heart attacks, high blood pressure, diabetes, and his entire body is shaking like he is about to have another stroke. And this is the direct result of a power-hungry sheriff who thought that he could use the opportunity of this very unique situation where Trump was actually visiting California in order to further his political career.
So during the investigation, obviously those identification documents were found, in addition to a loaded handgun and a shotgun.
So that's a blatant lie. My firearms were not found. In fact, I declared them, and here's the evidence.
How you doing, sir? Hi.
Hi,
So I have a question. So I'm a Trump caucus captain, but I want to be totally transparent. I'm from Nevada, and I do have my firearms in the back.
You have firearms with you?
Yeah, in the back in the trunk, but, obviously I want to be totally transparent, but yeah.
Okay. How many firearms do you have?
I have a shotgun and I have a handgun, and it's all in the back right there. Obviously, I'm not taking this down with me, just in my car, and I want to let you guys know.
Okay. You have your ID, VIP pass, and all that?
Yeah, totally. And you could actually Google me. I ran for office as a Republican and all that, but, probably why I have a gun, so that's my ID right there. And then
Okay.
right here is my,
You're going to pull up
Sure.
into that little alcove right there.
Okay. And that's my pass right there.
Okay. So you're going to pull up right in that little alcove right there.
Right there? Okay, cool. Thank you. Do you guys want to hang on to it? I don't mind you guys holding on to it
They'll
either.
decide what they're going to do.
Okay.
Just pull up in the alcove.
All right, thank you.
Chad Bianco also falsely stated that I had fake passports, multiple driver's license, fake IDs. And that's also not true. I have a U.S. passport. I have a Canadian passport because I was born in Canada, and as a naturalized citizen, you automatically get a passport. And then I have my driver's license. I only have one driver's license, not multiple.
I am glad that we're not talking about this after we shot him. If you're asking me right now, I probably did have deputies that prevented the third assassination attempt. He was a lunatic. It's people trying to do harm, and thank God we prevented it. And we know that we prevented something bad from happening, and it's irrelevant what that bad was going to be. I truly do believe that we prevented another assassination attempt.
He did this without having a shred of evidence to back up the insane claims he was making. And had I not been, an investigative journalist, knowing, this kind of police officer, bad cops that use their badge under the color of law to essentially shield themselves from crimes that they are doing. And since then, I've actually gotten, thousands of pages of other things that the sheriff has done, including what's happening in the jails there, including people that have been beat up, harassed, threatened, the $7.5 million lawsuit, and a lot of other things. Now, what I will say to you guys is that I was astute enough to record the entire incursion on my car, and I've released that on my Twitter account, which is not them Miller, N-O-T them Miller. I keep releasing evidence to show that the sheriff is a complete liar, his deputy is a complete liar, and it's very sad what has happened here because on the surface value, we're supposed to be both constitutional Republicans, but once you dig further, you realize that that is not the intention and actions of the sheriff. And with this lawsuit coming, I really hope this board does the right thing and doesn't tie themselves to this corrupt individual and thereby destroy the credibility of this county. I will give you guys my second cell phone number. If anybody has questions, you can call me on 702 601-9618. Please first text me. That's once again 702-601-9618. Text me, and I'm willing to speak to anybody to correct the record, show evidence, a lot of which is on my actual Twitter account. Plus, there's a video there where I explain what happened, followed by the audio of my first interaction with the police that clearly shows that I wasn't there to assassinate.
All right. Thank you, sir. Your time is up. And was that cell number just for the 5 of us? Just next speaker, please.
All right, everyone, I'm going to keep this introduction very brief. In terms of who Sheriff Bianco is, you've heard a lot from me. And today you will hear from the citizens, the civilians of Riverside County. And you will hear about the multiple crimes and corruptions of Sheriff Bianco. Not from my words, but from their words. So without further ado, here is what the citizens of Riverside think about Mr. Sheriff Bianco.
I want to read something from the New York Times earlier this year. Video from inside a Southern California jail shows a violent confrontation in October 2020 in which 10 sheriff deputies burst into a cell of a man who was having delusions and resisting medical care. They restrained him and reportedly shocked him, leading to his death days later. Now, eventually this led to a $7.5 million settlement. With $7.5 million, please hear that. We now have a new one where we're going to have, there's been a lot of lawsuits. We now have this another one where a man who was wrongly accused of possibly doing a third assassination attempt by our sheriff is also going to be suing the county. You know, I mean, $1 million here, $1 million there is quite a bit of money, especially $7 million here, $7 million there. I am totally in favor of supporting law enforcement. We need strong law enforcement. I get that. But I don't like my tax dollars going for lawsuits. That's money that should be spent on law enforcement, not on lawsuits. So I encourage you, as the people who are responsible for the oversight of the sheriff and for the department, to please take seriously your fiduciary responsibility to know the kind of money that's being spent on this stuff. I hear say you're busy. Okay.
I stand here on National Police Brutality Day, challenging you to show independence from the sheriff and our systems. The 14th Amendment in Riverside County is practiced according to one's bank account and one's skin color. There have been over 200 deaths in the last 15 years in custody, in addition to over 100 million in lawsuits. And now we have law enforcement claiming there'd be assassination attempts when there are not. Additionally, we have no accounting of resources for this most recent political rally. And if in history is any guide, the county will be on the hook for several $100,000 that they will not be reimbursed for. Please, in honor of all who have been injured or died in the hands of law enforcement, show some independence. Thank you.
Good morning, esteemed board of directors. I'm here because, believe it or not, it is not because of Sheriff Chad Bianco. It is the system that allows a Sheriff Chad Bianco to flourish and wreak havoc on this county and the taxpayers here, the citizens, and the residents. This board is the only body in this county that can rein in the kind of activity that we've seen with this particular sheriff, but should also consider creating systems and safeguards that will allow us all to thrive. At this point, it's an issue with equal protection. Some people are protected and served, while others become fodder. They either are incarcerated because they have mental illness, they're being swept out of homeless encampments to go nowhere and to end up in a county jail that we pay over $100,000 a year for. So this isn't personal to Bianco. This is about the systems that you all have the opportunity to change. You control the budget, you control the purse strings, yet you won't. And so is it because of where your funding for office comes from that doesn't give you the autonomy or the courage The commitment to change a system that you see is failing. You know it's failing because you're paying the lawsuits. These lawsuits shouldn't come from the general fund. They should come from the sheriff's budget themselves. Why do we as taxpayers have to keep paying for mistakes and misfeasance, malfeasance, and intentional harm to people? I want to be protected and served. I want my children to be protected and served, my grandchildren, regardless of how much money they have or don't have, regardless if they have mental illness or not, substance use or not. It's not a license to kill. Yet we are continuing to allow a system to perpetuate this kind of insanity and callousness on our residents, and it's not fair. It's not fair to anyone here. And I'm asking you to do what you know you need to do and rein this in. Thank you.
Thank you.
Good morning, Board. My name is Luis Nolasco. I'm here this morning with the Riverside Sheriff's Accountability Coalition. We echo our concerns to the questionable actions of Sheriff Chad Bianco and the resulting lawsuit related to the recent high-profile political rally in Riverside County held on October 12th. After the arrest of Vin Miller, a Las Vegas man arrested with weapons outside the rally on Saturday afternoon, Sheriff Bianco rushed to thrust himself and the department into the media light by claiming that the department thwarted a third assassination attempt. Sheriff Bianco's heedless dash to media attention and fame needs to be addressed, and the sheriff should be held accountable for his lack of professional conduct. His self-interested conduct has resulted in additional lawsuit payout out of taxpayer money. This is the same department that has been sued over and over because of in-custody deaths, costing taxpayers and residents of Riverside County millions of dollars. The Board of Supervisors has the power of the purse over the sheriff, and it's imperative that it exercises fiscal restraint. In addition to the lawsuit, the RSO provided transportation to the venue from the parking lot, utilizing county vehicles and additional deputies at taxpayers' cost. Actions and decisions that also warrant external review and accountability. We commend Supervisor Perez for his statement urging an audit of the possible expenses incurred by the county as a result of public safety services provided at this event. This all amongst the ongoing request for immediate and urgent oversight of this out-of-control department. Thank you so much.
Good morning, Board. My name is Lisa Matus, mother of pretrial detainee Richard Matus Jr., who died at Coy Bird Detention Center. Sheriff Bianco has again incurred another lawsuit with the same complaints as many others. Constitutional and civil rights violations are becoming so severe that, in my opinion, have turned criminal. Chad Bianco has again politically shamed and put Vin Miller from Las Vegas in grave danger, publicly giving his name, birth date to the world in a character assassination, proclaimed him to be an assassin, accused of being the third assassination attempt with absolutely no proof. This was about Bianco's attempt to be seen as a hero. You have a man that was site released with a citation being accused on world news as an assassin. This was reckless, intentional, and malicious, but not surprising. This brought me back to the day Bianco posted on social media and publicly shamed and harassed my family. That in turn instigated much hate and harassment towards myself and family members. I fell into a deep depression because of this statement. One especially, Bianco asked, did they ever think that they played a huge part in the situation they find themselves in? When the truth was, I blamed myself 100%. Why? Because on November 21st, 2021, my son and other pretrial detainees were brutally attacked by deputies while being moved housing units. Richard was a pro-per defendant and had much legal files. He had so much his friends had to help him carry his belongings. A deputy that did not like him due to Richard's filed grievances for them violating his rights told the detainees to stop. Richard stated to me the deputy went up to the detainee Ray holding Richard's belongings, legal paperwork, and told him to throw it on the floor. He explained to the deputy that he was helping Richard. The deputies then proceeded to brutally attack them. With some of Richard's legal paperwork lost, these inmates, upon finding out Richard died, got a hold of us and confirmed exactly what Richard said. Richard was then told, you are going to isolation for 7 days. Richard filed a grievance and he was told, if you do not sign it and go to isolation, we will charge you. So it's your choice. I feel if I would have pushed the issue at the time and brought everything to light, maybe he would be alive, maybe others would be alive, there would have been change. I have read all of Richard's many grievances, notes, journals, and everything he kept. when receiving his property, and it's bad. You all have read some reports only, and I'm assuming have never seen any video of deaths, excessive force, civil rights violations, constitutional violations. I would suggest you request all of this from every situation. You will find that written reports do not match up with what you see on the reports. The video will show different. Very soon, all of this will be elevated, and I hope that you all be known as the supervisors that were there for us as a community and acknowledge there being a big problem and be part of that change. Thank you.
Good morning, board. My name is Candace Cortez, and I'm the sister of Richard Matus Jr., who tragically died at the Coyburg Detention Center on August 11th in 2022. Month after month, new issues arise within Riverside County law enforcement, ranging from record-breaking jail deaths, the disappearance of 60 pounds of drugs, sexual assault allegations, to drug trafficking charges. It's getting hard to tell if I'm witnessing a scene out of the movie Crash or if this is our reality. Consider these headlines. Newsweek. Sheriff accused of claiming Donald Trump assassination attempt for clout. MSNBC. Riverside County Sheriff faces backlash over Trump assassination claims. Los Angeles Daily News. Sheriff Chad Bianco in the spotlight again for all the wrong reasons. These are just a few examples of the sheriff's latest blunders, an ongoing embarrassment for the community he's supposed to serve. This isn't about political affiliations, whether far right or far left. This is about the need for dignified leadership. Sheriff Bianco's leadership has already cost Riverside taxpayers dearly, and it continues to keep happening with no end in sight. Recently, he held a press conference accusing Mr. Miller of an assassination attempt, despite knowing that both the FBI and the Secret Service found no grounds to investigate. Bianco used this platform to advance his personal agenda, attacking California bail laws, instead of acknowledging the baselessness of his allegations. Since then, he has paraded himself on Fox News, never once taking responsibility for making an unfounded and dangerous claim. Now I ask you, how can someone who recklessly accuses another human of such a serious crime be trusted to oversee the welfare of thousands of inmates in our county jails? Consider the FBI and Secret Service, agencies regarded as the gold standard in law enforcement. Imagine how much worse the situation could have been for Mr. Miller without their oversight. Could he have fallen victim to Sheriff Bianco's thirst for political attention and ended up serving a life sentence? The culture of reckless leadership is not just troubling, it's dangerous. I demand an audit of Sheriff Bianco's executive office. The taxpayers of Riverside County are paying the price for this unaccountable, lawless governance. The lack of transparency, accountability, and leadership is sinking this ship, and it's sinking fast. The Riverside County residents deserve better. Thank you.